Hi there, welcome to my virtual piano studio. My name is Tingting Zhang. I'm a classically trained pianist with 30 years of teaching experience. Today we're learning one of the most famous waltzes by Frédéric Chopin, Waltz in C-sharp minor, opus 64, number 2. I know this is many people's favorite waltz, including myself. Personally, I think this piece presents infinite possibilities in voicing, phrasing, coloring, etc. Each section presents a distinctive character, and the middle section in particular is a perfect example of Chopin's poetic expression. When I first learned this piece, I was probably 13 or 14 years old. Throughout the years, I have played and taught this piece many times, and each time I discover something new, whether it's a different way to pedal or a hidden voice that I didn't notice before. This piece is just full of magic that awaits you to explore. I'm excited to share my years of experience with you. Let's dive in. First of all, I want to answer a question that many of you might have. How difficult is this waltz? Am I ready to learn it? I can tell you technically it's at intermediate level. It requires a fair coordination between the two hands, right hand playing cantabile melody over left hand waltz pattern. It doesn't have super fast moving passage, mostly just eighth notes. Musically, however, it's a little more demanding. It requires a deeper understanding of the style of Chopin. So in this sense, I would say it's early advanced. Before we go any further, I always like to check the tempo mark first, because usually it gives you important information such as the character and the mood of a piece. For this waltz, we have tempo giusto. It means strict, exact, or suitable tempo. Well, I must say this isn't very helpful. One thing we kind of learned is that it doesn't need a lot of rubato. But what exactly is a suitable tempo? I grew up listening to Rubinstein's recordings. He recorded the complete waltzes and nocturnes by Chopin, and they're absolutely treasures. I constantly draw inspirations from listening to him. His tempo on this waltz is around 120 beats per minute. It's a medium speed, not too fast, not too slow. Let's listen to it. I think this is a wonderful tempo to start a piece with. Of course, as the music progresses, there will be subtle rubato here and there. And then also the tempo will change slightly in each section, which I will discuss later. But at least for now, you get a general idea of how fast this piece should go. The first section consists of two parts. The first part starts from measure 1 to measure 32 here. And the second part starts from the pickup note to measure 33. And then it goes to measure 64. That's where you see the first double bar line. That's the end of the first section. Now, let's go back to the beginning. At first glance, we're drawn to the beauty of the melody. But that's just the surface. To gain a deeper understanding of this passage, we need to look beyond the notes. I'm going to remove the embellished notes and rhythm, just playing the skeleton of each phrase so that you can see the underlying harmonic structure. Did you notice The first 8 measures in right hand are a series of chords moving down in steps. This is really the foundation that the melody is built on. In the next 8 measures, right hand has some unstoppable eighth notes moving in upward direction. Here, until measure 13, when they reach the top note G sharp, and then the notes are falling down. You see, once we understand the phrase structure, we can decide on how to group the notes together and how to shape the phrases. I always tell students to hold off on pedal until they can play hands together smoothly with very few mistakes. Because when you're busy finding the notes, counting the beats, playing one hand louder than the other, there are already so many things going on at the same time. It's very difficult to think about and listen to how you pedal. So the best thing to do is to wait 1 to 2 weeks or even longer, depending on your learning pace. As you get better and better with the notes, you can start working on pedaling. Let's first look at the pedaling suggestions in the score. In most measures, you pedal on the first beat and lift on the third beat. In some measures, there's no pedal mark at all. I want you to understand this is just a basic guideline. It tells you to change the pedal when the harmony changes. However, this is not how we actually pedal. In general, we hold the pedal through the bar line and change it at the beginning of the next measure. The reason we do this is to extend the sound and avoid the gap within the phrase. Hold pedal through the first measure and change in the second measure, first beat. Measure 3 and 4, there are different ways to pedal these 2 measures. One is to let go on the second beat and pedal again on the third beat. This way you can clearly hear the rest and it adds playfulness to the phrase. The other way is to change pedal on every left-hand chord. You don't necessarily hear the rest, but it's more resonant. Which way do you like? One is the shorter pedal, let go on the second beat. The other one is to change pedal and hold for every beat. There's no right or wrong. Go with the sound you like. The next 4 measures are very similar. You can pedal them exactly the same as the beginning. From measure 9, it's all one pedal for the entire measure, and you change it at the beginning of the next measure. Don't be afraid of these chromatic notes in the right hand. Let them all melt together, and you get this buttery smooth texture. Measure 12, even though there's no pedal mark, I would definitely use pedal here. You could change on the third beat if you prefer a clearer sound. Change here, but you don't have to. For the next 3 measures, I would lift my pedal up on the third beat. Off, off. And then no pedal in the last measure so that we have a drier sound at the end of the phrase as a contrast. I can't wait to work down the middle section with you since this is my favorite part of the piece. The middle section presents a completely different musical idea. Unlike the beginning, which has a typical dance feeling, this section resembles the characteristics of a nocturne. which usually contains longer melodic lines, irregular pauses, and more importantly, a sense of yearning and longing. So this is a very lyrical, expressive, and poetic passage. Let's hear the right-hand melody first. What emotions or mood did you hear? Let's take a closer look at each subphrase. The first one starts on F. Then it falls. The second subphrase starts higher on G flat. With a little twist in the middle, yet it falls again. The third time, it becomes a little impatient. It starts on A flat, then leaps to the high note D flat and tries to hang in there. But eventually it falls back again. And interestingly, you can feel the reluctance through the notes because they're moving down very slowly. See here, in the half steps. I don't know how you feel, but I certainly sensed a persistent attempt, trying again and again to reach something. Maybe it's a wish, a person you love, or a place you miss, but it's just unattainable. So there's this deep melancholy. If you understand the emotions behind these notes, it will be a lot easier to play this passage expressively. I suggest you try to sing along when you play the right-hand melody, because it is pretty much written in the Bel Canto style. I can totally picture a soprano singing this passage. By the way, you definitely need to know the Bel Canto style when playing Chopin because it is fundamental in his compositions. Chopin admired the early 19th century Italian opera singing, and he was inspired to write long, arching, expressive melody with ornamentation over a simple and steady left-hand accompaniment. Many of his biographies and student memoirs documented that he had asked his students to sing at the piano. Singing can help you feel the connection between the notes as well as the shape of the phrase so that your playing will be more legato and more lyrical. Let's try it.